Charlie Botnick here for the Pita Pit pregame here with head coach Shawn Nelson. Now, Coach, you guys are heading to the RMAC tournament, first off playing Regis, but taking a quick look back, you guys had a 20-win season. Out of those 20 wins, which really was the most memorable win?
Well, the most memorable for me would be the game up at Fort Lewis. I don't think we had won at Fort Lewis in like 15 years, and at that time, we were really struggling. We were 6-5, I believe, overall, and we were 2-3 in conference, and we had just gotten beaten twice at home in conference right before the break, and our players got some time off, and they really had to, focus in and buy into what we were trying to do, and we had to make some changes. And we came out in that Fort Lewis game, and I thought we executed really well, and I thought it just set the tone for the second half of the year. And to be 6-5 at one point, especially in this league, in this Division II league, and ending up with 20 regular season wins from where we were at, I think is just I think is an amazing accomplishment.
And going on that a little bit more, being 6-5 and, a different team from last year, really. Mm-hmm. What really changed from that 6-5 team to now this 20-win team going into the playoffs?
Well, I think what you just said, it took a while for them to realize that they were a different team. It didn't matter what, really what I had to say to them at the beginning of the year and tell them that they're a different team and that this is a different year. We had a lot of players that were looking back at last year and thought things were going to be like last year. Well, we lost like 7 or 8 players from last year's team, and Brittany was a returning all-conference player. Gabby was a returning honorable mention all-conference player, and the rest of our team didn't see much action. They were role players or they were incoming freshmen. So, we had to change our mindset and realize that we're a different team. We're our own team. It's not, we're not last year's team. We're this year's team, and this year's team right now has 20 wins, and we're going to the conference tournament. And I'm really proud of them to this point.
And, talking a little bit more about the freshmen, you have 3, notable freshmen. There's Jenna Knoffel, Kelly O'Flanagan, and Lauren Bennett. And, Kelly O'Flanagan starting for the Mountain Lions, and Jenna Knoffel have been hitting some big shots. How big has these freshmen stepped up and really taken over that wall that we've been talking about? Well,
being a freshman in college basketball is really hard because the season is so much longer than it is in high school, and the players you're playing against, the best players in the league, they're 22, 23 years old, and they're so much stronger and all those things. But our freshmen, they did a really good job coming in, and they had their ups and downs and all this. Like Lauren Bennett, she really saved our butt sometimes the beginning of the season, and now she's playing well again. Jenna's playing well again. Kelly's really playing well. So I feel good about that. But we decided that, we're going to build our program with, Colorado high school kids. And so you have to bring them in here and you have to play them, and they have to get better right away. And it's tough, but I think the reward down the line is definitely worth it.
And like you said, all but one player from Colorado. Really, how big is that to you that, you have a Colorado team and, last year all but one player was from Colorado, or 2 from Colorado, and you guys got to the NCAA tournament. Yeah. Really, how big is that?
Well, I think it's big. I think people in Colorado, they would like to watch Colorado, players play. When I was in Montana, we averaged 2,800 to 3,000 people at our games because we were all Montana, and everybody else in our league was junior college transfers and this and that. Not that we wouldn't take one if we need one, but I don't feel like we're at the point right now where we need to do that. And people want to watch. I mean, people know these names. They follow their careers throughout high school, and it's just I think that's just the way to go.
And Coach, get into the matchup. You guys have Regis, the first round of the tournament. You've seen them before, unlucky 0-2 against them. Really, how big and really what's going to be the factors of this game?
Well, I think the factors are going to be very similar to what they were in our last game. We have to defend. I didn't think we did a good job defending as much as we prepared to defend, as much as we talked about it. We were coming off of a long road trip to Shadron the night before, and we won that emotional game at Shadron, and I thought that took some out of us. Brittany was still not practicing at that point in the season because of her injury, so I don't know where she was at, really at that point, mentally or physically, so that was tough. I feel like those things are fixed now, and we have to defend. We have to defend, and we have to score points. It's not going to be easy, and we're playing at their floor, but we're excited for the challenge.
And looking into that, Kylie Raider had the game-winning putback on that one, and she was the transfer from Wyoming, and she had not a dominant but a huge performance that last game. Really, what is the plan to stop her?
Well, I thought she was actually pretty dominant in that game. She got catches wherever she wanted to get catches, and she got that big putback, and it really wasn't contested. She got another catch right where she wanted to, and we just have to do a better job on her. I mean, I think she'll be an all-conference player, but at the same time, we have all-conference players at the post position also, and we need to play like that in this game. But at the same time, they got outstanding guards, so it's just a tough matchup for us.
And talking a little bit about those guards, Bailey Purdy and Cress Williams can really drive and penetrate, but also can shoot that three. Really, do you just have to pick your poison with those two?
Well, yeah. I mean, yes and no. I mean, they're good enough to score points no matter what you do. I mean, I think one time last year we tried to just face guard Purdy, and she still had 20 points or something. So they're good enough to get their points. You just have to try to do a good job of making sure other people don't step up and have a big night, and that kind of happened to us last time we played them.
And Coach, last question, you've been here before. This is your second year going to the RMAC tournament. Really, how nice is it, or how competitive is it knowing that every given night that an 8 seed could beat a 1 seed, or 5th seed can beat a 4th seed? How competitive is it?
Well, last year I don't think it was like that. Last year I think there were 3, maybe 4 teams that went into the tournament that actually thought they could win the thing. But this year I think 1 through 8, I just think it's I don't know what's going to happen. I know Fort Lewis is the 8 seed, but they've had both their games with Mines. They had chances to win, especially up at Mines. I just look at all the matchups. I couldn't predict. I couldn't even, I think they all can go either way. I don't know. I don't even know who's going to be hosting the second round. There's just no clear cut. This league this year is really top heavy. The top 8 teams are really good, and you can tell by the standings. I mean, even we're 16-6, and I think Mines was what were they, 19-3 or whatever they were. But you look at how many close games they played, and you look at how many close games Black Hills played and Pueblo played, and who they played them against. I mean, it just came down to some of those games just getting a break, or if you were healthy at that time, or whatever the factors were that were at play during those games. So yeah, this tournament's going to be crazy. I think we just want to win our first game and stay in it and see what happens.
There you have it, a competitive RMAC tournament for head coach Shawn Nelson, the UCCS women's basketball team. Coach, good luck.
All right, thanks, Charlie.